there is a part of God inside every human being. This is exactly what Vivek Ramaswamy said. Have jobs. There is rising unemployment in Germany. Germany is in the midst of one of the worst recessions that Germany has seen for, I think, 30, 40 years. It is the sea roots that hit China where it hurts the most, where China screams in agony. And this is what the world navies are doing, Jai Hind, friends. I'm Major Gaurav Arya and you're watching the CHANAKYA Dialogues English. Like this video, subscribe to our channel and do not forget to press the bell icon. Here is news from the United States of America. Vivek Ramaswamy, one of the hopefuls of the Republican Party, strong candidate. I think he's trailing behind Trump, but a credible candidate. He was asked in a debate. And one of the people who asked him the questions also said that you do not belong to the same religion as the founding fathers of the United States of America. So, ladies and gentlemen, just to tell you that founding fathers were those who, like George Washington and all that during the earlier times, the earliest period of the United States of America when it became a free country. Founding fathers wrote the Constitution of the United States, etc. So, you do not share their religion. And he spoke about religion and values. And he told Ramaswamy that, you obviously don't share their religion because they were Christians and you're not. So, Ramaswamy, it was pointed out publicly that you're a Hindu. And I love the way this guy responded here. You see, I hope he wins. Chances are less. But the fact of the matter is, I like this guy's demeanor. I like the fact that he has a spine. And I think that's very important. He has a spine. This man publicly in front of the American national television says, I'm a Hindu. I'm proud of being a Hindu. And I'm not going to lie to you. Right? I'll tell you what he meant exactly when he said, I will not lie to you. Here, he's not a fake convert. So what is a fake convert? A fake convert is a person who retains the identity of his previous religion, but just to win elections or to win approval says, hey, I'm a Christian, I believe in Christianity. He says, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to lie to you. I will not lie to you. I am a Hindu. I'm a proud Hindu. He said, despite religious differences, he shared, values that Christianity and Hinduism both hold sacred and dear. He expressed his faith perspective, emphasizing moral duty and the belief that God works through individuals, emphasizes equality, stating every individual is equal because God resides in each person. Now, this whole concept of God residing in each person is a typically Hindu concept. When we greet each other, we say that we are greeting the God that we see inside you. There is a part of God inside every human being. This is exactly what Vivek Ramaswamy said. And I think that was a brilliant answer. And the best thing is, listen here. I'm not going to say that I'm not a Hindu or I'm a Christian or some other religion just because I want your vote. He says, I'm going to be truthful. The fact of the matter is, I am Hindu. I'm a proud Hindu. And that's it. Now, there is another news from Germany, and Germany is in a fix. Germany is on the brink of declaring emergency, ladies and gentlemen. Olaf Scholz blames Putin's war, the Russia-Ukraine war. And Olaf Scholz, who is the Chancellor of Germany, says that, the Putin is responsible for this and warns of potential emergency declaration due to the situation in Ukraine. Emergency declaration conditionally linked to the improvement of the Ukrainian situation by next year and the provision of military aid. Opposition strongly criticizes Scholz's plans, labeling it as financial trickery. Very good. Financial concerns and disagreement over the allocation of resources emerge as key points of opposition. Opposition's response reflects unsettled sentiments and potential debates within Germany on the proposed emergency and military aid plan to Ukraine. So here is Germany saying, we want to declare emergency because we don't have money. Germany is already in a state of inflation. Let me tell you how this works. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who do not know, when you have three quarters, right, one after the other, without a break, in which your economy contracts, it is said to be a state of recession. This is exactly what has happened in Germany. Germany hit recession last year or the beginning of this year. Germany hit recession. They've had a very bad year. They had a very bad 2023. But what Germany is doing is this. Will advocate sustainable, reliable support for Ukraine because it is about security of Europe. Listen to this. Point number one, advocate sustainable, reliable support for Ukraine because it is about the security of Europe. Plan to spend 8.63 billion on arms for Kiev next year, along with an unspecified money allocated for the financial aid to the Ukrainian budget, and another 6.47 billion to support Ukrainian refugees living in Germany. So this says around $15 billion in cash and an unspecified money allocated to the Ukrainian budget. So we don't know what they're talking about actually. 15 billion is A, for military aid, B, for Ukrainian refugees in Germany, and C, for an unspecified amount of money. We don't know how much that money is, how many billions of dollars, nobody knows. But this is specifically for the Ukrainian budget for Zelensky to spend as he deems fit. Now, there is a problem in all this. And Europeans have largely faced this problem. You do not have money to heat your homes. People do not have jobs. There is rising unemployment in Germany. Germany is in the midst of one of the worst recessions that Germany has seen for, I think, 30, 40 years. Germany is in a bad shape. You don't know where you're going to get heating this winter because you obviously said we don't want oil from Russia because Russia has invaded Ukraine. The problem is that German people are suffering and Zelensky is getting fat and rich. And I hope Germany understands that Zelensky is getting fat and rich. He's a corrupt man. This is what the Central Intelligence Agency says. This is what Seymour Hersh wrote in his article. He says Zelensky is corrupt. His cabinet is full of corrupt people and they've stolen, I don't know, hundreds of millions of dollars. There is theft going all along in Ukraine in that war. Right? The problem is that you can keep on hammering Russia. Russia has the capacity to take punishment. Russia will not bow down. Russia will keep on attacking, keep on defending, keep on attacking. But not so with Zelensky. Zelensky is a fake prop-up. The moment you tell Zelensky that Zelensky, we are not giving you money, we are not giving you weapons, right? Zelensky starts crying and runs all the way to Washington to beg for money. The man is probably in Washington right now, begging Joe Biden for money. He's saying we'll lose the war and Russia would have won. Russia already controls 17.5% of Ukrainian territory, ladies and gentlemen. And Zelensky wants to fight. You can fight a war basis your own strength and weaknesses. You cannot rely on the world for money. Basically, what Ukraine is doing, let me spell it very plainly. What Ukraine is doing is fighting the West's proxy war against Russia. Ukraine is the hitman that the West has hired to hit Russia, except that Russia is not getting hit. And once Russia has occupied 17.5% of land, they will occupy more. And even when there is peace, and God willing, there will be peace one day between Russia and Ukraine, Russia is not going to give back those lands to Ukraine. They're gone forever. They're gone forever. And this was Zelensky. Many people tried to warn this guy, do not try and get involved with the NATO. Don't do that. It will have its repercussions. He said, no. He was absolutely sure, and even my assessment of the Russian situation went wrong because I thought Russia will not invade, but Russia did. I thought the invasion will last 1 week. It lasted more than 1.5, 2 years. But the fact of the matter is that the Russians have an upper hand today, and Zelensky is running everywhere for money. Now, there is another interesting article here from the Deccan Herald, and this says that 60 oil carriers move between Persian Gulf and Chinese ports. And he says why Indian Ocean could be China's Achilles heel in a Taiwan war. So what happens? Let's say China tomorrow feels confident enough of attacking Taiwan. And it says, okay, we'll put boots on ground in Taiwan. Let's take over Taiwan. That's what China wants to do. What will happen? Very interesting article, and I thought I'll share this with you. Daily 60 oil carriers move between Persian Gulf and Chinese ports. They supply half of China's oil, vital for the world's second largest economy. So through this line, from the Persian Gulf to the Chinese ports, 60 oil carriers move every single day. 60, every single day, right? Every single day. They supply half of China's oil, ladies and gentlemen. Hong Kong's role as a maritime hub is crucial for this oil transportation. The flow of oil supports China's economic growth. Of course it does. Oil is a major strategic handle. Even countries all over the world. I mean, those who don't produce oil, especially like India. India has strategic oil reserves. China does not produce any oil. But then China will have to have its own strategic reserves. Now, this moves by sea. This is exactly why China wants to hedge its bets and is putting in money for the China-Pakistan economic corridor, except that the Pakistanis are absolute idiots and they don't know how to manage a project. And they're corrupt also. Apart from being not intelligent, they're corrupt also, and they've literally eaten away Chinese money. Now, the flow of oil supports China's economic growth. Disruptions in this route could impact China's emergency supply and global economy. The route is geopolitically significant, influencing global energy and dynamics. As the vessels enter South China Sea, they ply waters increasingly controlled by China's growing military, from the missile batteries and airfields at its bases on disputed islands to its stealthy Type 055 destroyers. Now, see, the thing is that this war with China, for too long we have been led to believe that the war with China will be in the Himalayas, because 62 was in the Himalayas, 67 was in the Himalayas, and even lately Galwan was in the Himalayas. So that is what we believe. But the fact of the matter, ladies and gentlemen, is that what really hurts China is the sea routes. It is the sea routes that hit China where it hurts the most, where China screams in agony. And this is what the world navies are doing, You must have heard of the famous Malacca Straits. There's something called Malacca Choke. A very famous maneuver which is known as the Malacca Choke, in which you choke Malacca. You stop Chinese trade because China is not a military superpower. I repeat this again and again so people understand this. China is not a military superpower. China is an economic superpower. Do not hit China militarily. Hit China economically. Use your military to hit China economically. Once you hit China economically, China will come to its knees, because therein lies China's power. Not in its military, but in its economy. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the last news of the day. Most Israelis want Hamas crushed despite Gaza casualties. The UN rebuke. And this says, I'm reading out the points written here. Israeli citizens insist on the military maintaining an unrelenting offensive against Hamas, dismissing the UN ceasefire call. Israel military suffers one of the deadliest days in 2-month Gaza war, with 10 soldiers killed, bringing the total toll to 115. US President Joe Biden expresses concern that the indiscriminate bombing of Gazan civilians is eroding China's international support. Biden is an idiot. Despite rising human costs and dire conditions in Gaza, polls show continued overwhelming public backing for the war. Hamas's recent actions, including killing of about 1,200 people, revive fears in Israel of an existential threat akin to concerns during the 1973 surprise attack. This is the Yom Kippur War, all right, 1973. Now, what is this article trying to say? This is a Deccan Herald article, and you must go and read it. And this article essentially says that in spite of the United Nations pressure for ceasefire, in spite of America saying no, there must be a ceasefire, in spite of all the global pressure in the world, human rights organizations, Muslim countries going berserk absolutely, saying that no, stop Israel, stop. There is an overwhelming domestic support for the war, and this gives strength to Benjamin Netanyahu. I salute the Israeli people. Stand behind Benjamin Netanyahu. You might have political differences with him, many of you. It doesn't matter. Today is war. Tomorrow we'll see. Today is war. And this is what I very strongly believe. And I support, endorse, and absolutely believe in this philosophy of Israel. I say keep on hammering Hamas. And this war should not stop till the last Hamas terrorist, their leadership or a foot soldier, is brought to justice. And when I say justice, you know what I mean by justice. Final justice. They need to face consequences for what they have done. And I'm glad that the Israeli population is standing solidly behind this war and saying that keep on hammering them. And I very, very strongly believe here. I very strongly believe. I swear, had I been anywhere near a Hamas outpost, I would have taken a rocket launcher and blasted a couple of posts myself. That's how strongly I believe in all this. So with this, ladies and gentlemen, I come to the end of my video. And now for questions and answers. And we have actually 3 questions, but I can't make sense of the other 2 here. So, Ashok Raj Purkar. Why does our government allow import of MG motor cars from China? Why do we need Chinese mobile phones assembled in India? We should have an anti-dumping policy on Chinese consumer products, otherwise trade volumes will go against us. It's not just trade volumes. First of all, I agree with you. Ashok ji, I agree with you, all right? So I'm not disputing any point. But I'm saying it's not about trade, it's about national security. Forget about trade volumes for a while. Trade is important. What is happening is that we are giving money to all the countries. Why India only? America is doing it, Europe is doing it. We are giving money to China, right? Because we buy from them. So it's natural that we give them money, Using that money, China buys weapons and uses it against us. So this is what I feel. We must aim to disrupt China's supply chain. I wanted to buy a vehicle and you mentioned MG. Somebody told me MG Hector is very good. I didn't know. I always assumed, I'm talking about a few years back, I had always assumed that MG was a British brand and I said, I don't mind buying it here. Because people said internet inside and all that. Then I looked it up on Google and some Shanghai company or some Chinese company. And then on Terminal 3, yes, now I remember. On Terminal 3 of Indira Gandhi International Airport, there used to be this, car showcased. It was MG Hector many years back, or I don't remember the period, but I remember seeing that car on Terminal 3. And it's then that I decided that this is a Chinese car. I looked it up on Google. Any Chinese product, in fact, why only cars here? Look at Amazon, look at Flipkart. You have to really scroll down and see manufacturer, something, origin, then it says China. There should be a rule by saying that if you have a Chinese product, it should be right there. Where you're advertising, where you put that photograph, it should be written on the photograph, made in China. Or just put the Chinese flag. Don't write made in China, put the Chinese flag there. Indians should know. Many a time, I have bought stuff here and I feel so bad. You see something on Amazon, you just buy it, you don't think about it. Later, when you check the package, it says made in China. It breaks your heart. Why is Amazon selling all this nonsense? Give people a choice, put the Chinese flag there, and I swear, never going to touch anything Chinese in my life. Except for Chinese food, maybe. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this video. And if you like this video, press the like button. Subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to press the bell icon. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram, Bharat Mata ki Jai.